I will be teaching half-time this fall and starting my new job half-time.
Until recently, Carl Kamink taught at Unity Christian High School. He's one of 600,000 teachers nationwide making a career change since January 2020.
I had no desire to leave. I would tell anybody that would come that I had the fantastic job, the dream job. It's been a wonderful career and I highly recommend it.
Kamink is retiring from teaching to pursue a unique ministry opportunity. But he's not the only one making a change. Many more teachers than usual are considering leaving the profession next year. Kamink blames the exodus on a combination of different stressors, many of them triggered by COVID lockdowns and distance learning. First, he says, there are just a lot fewer teachers to help carry the load.
Anytime we need a substitute teacher, we've had to fill in for each other, which adds to stress. So instead of a free period, you have to fill in and cover for colleagues sometimes because you can't find people to sub.
Tim Van Zolen has anticipated this trend for a while. He's a former teacher. He currently serves as the executive director for the Center for the Advancement of Christian Education at Dordt University in Sioux Center, Iowa.
So the teacher shortage that we've talked about for many years is here.
Van Zolen identifies one big reason teachers are leaving the classroom: poor academic performance. After 2 years of distance learning, students are years behind where they should be.
There have been learning challenges, like academic challenges, but the social challenges have been as great as the learning challenges.
Trying to get kids caught up adds even more stress to an already difficult job. During the pandemic, administrators and parents were often more understanding. But now that in-person learning is back, many are impatient with the slow progress.
This last year has been a more challenging year to lead schools than the year before, which I find really interesting. You'd think during the pandemic, all the changes we had to make from going to online education to, how do we deal with the health protocols appropriately was really hard too. And then to think that this year was even more challenging those were quite the comments.
Students have also emerged from pandemic learning with bad attitudes and bad habits. David Schmoose is the executive director of Christian Educators Association International.
I saw a panel of teachers the other day that were being interviewed, and they were saying things like, in all my years of teaching, I've never seen this level of disrespect. I've never seen this level of lack of care, of absenteeism, of tardiness, of profanity aimed at me as the educator, of hostility from my students.
And these attitudes are having an effect on teachers.
Something has broke in many of our students, and the teachers are worn out and worn down and not sure how they can continue in many cases.
Schmoose adds that even when students are respectful, many have simply forgotten how to be good learners. After years of attending school from their bedroom, they're rebelling against tight schedules and rigorous study.
They've just lost the muscle memory or the brain memory of what it means to be a student.
The emerging teacher shortage is likely to get worse. Fewer college students are pursuing education as a career. Professor Tim Van Zolen oversees the education department at Dordt University. He's seen the dropping numbers firsthand.
I think in 2000, 11% of incoming freshmen were education majors. In 2019, I think that number was down to 3.6%.
Van Zolen blames several influences for this reduction, but he says negative media coverage hasn't helped. From school shootings to activist teachers, many parents discourage their kids from pursuing careers in education.
More than half of parents will tell their kids, you probably don't want to be a teacher, right? Whereas that was, 10 years ago, that was significantly more than majority of parents would say, that's a good profession for you to consider.
Retiring teacher Carl Kamink has observed a similar trend.
The current generation has said, I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. So
as more teachers consider leaving the classroom, educator David Schmoose sees an opportunity for believers to step in.
If the body of Christ will say, hey, here's an opportunity for us to replace all these burned out teachers with carriers of hope and carriers and ambassadors for Christ. Wow, what an opportunity that is.
Reporting for World, I'm Katelyn Rafferty in Sioux Center, Iowa.